Alright, so what we're doing today is we're going to keep factoring. It's going to be similar to what we did for our warm-up, what we did last week. Except now they're getting they're a little tougher. Not super tough, a little bit tougher. So, we're going to be factoring, like on part A right here. So, what we're going to do, we can't do in-middle factoring, because like we talked about last week, for in-middle factoring, I need, in front of my squared, that needs to be a 1. This one isn't a 1, so we can't do it. So I'm going to look here. And both these numbers have something in common. Both of these have a factor of 3 and a variable in common. Because they have both the factor of a 3 and the variable in, we can factor out a 3 and an in, and then we're going to end up with something left over. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out a 3 and an in. And when I factor out the stuff today, it's kind of like dividing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 6n squared plus 9n. And maybe I should back up. They've got a factor of 3 because if I were to split up this 6, that would be a 2 times 3. If I split up a 9, it's a 3 times 3. They both have that 3 in common, right? And they both have at least one in. That's where I got that from. Or when you guys did this back when you were like in maybe 7th grade, they called this the GCF. Remember greatest common factor?
Oh, yeah.
Greatest common
I
factor.
don't know what that
Yeah, you guys did that a long time ago. You guys have done this enough and are old enough that I'm not going to go through the whole process for greatest common factor. But if you're not sure how to find this, you can ask me and I can kind of walk you through it step by step. Okay, so we're going to take out our greatest common factor, this 3n, and it's kind of like dividing. So it's kind of like I'm dividing by 3n on both sides.
Oh, so you take the
Or
factor
not on
and
both
divide
sides, but on everything. So it's like I'm going to divide it out, except I'm not going to get rid of it completely. I'm going to put it out in front here, and I'm going to put what I have left inside parentheses. So it's kind of like dividing, but not quite. It's more like I'm splitting this apart to have my first part 3n, and my second part whatever's left after I divide by 3n.
Wait.
If that makes sense.
Nope.
Well, it will. Okay, so I'm splitting this apart, and my first part is 3n. And then in parentheses here, I have to see what I get when I take out this 3n. So I have 6n squared over 3n. What's 6 over 3?
2.
2. What's n squared over n? Just an n, right? Yeah. I got a 2n after I take out a 3n. So if you don't remember this, remember if I have n squared, that's n times n, right?
Yeah.
I've got a 1n on the bottom.
Yeah.
Cancel out, I have 1 left on top. Remember that's kind of the shortcut thing, I guess. Alright.
It's not really short.
Then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go plus 9n over 3n. 9 over 3 is 3. And what happens with n over n?
Oh, it goes back.
They cancel out, right? They turn into a 1, but we don't even need to write it because they're canceled out. So when I factor this, I factored out a 3n, and then I got a 2n plus 3. And after I do that, I need to double check, can I factor 2n plus 3 anymore?
No.
Can I do in-middle factoring or anything?
No.
No. So this is my final answer. 3n, and then second part, in parentheses, 2n plus 3.
Is that all we were doing?
Yeah. We're going to get to a little bit tougher one.
What?
Because we're going to have to in-middle something.
What?
In the middle.
Yeah, you'll see. Don't you worry.
Wait, so you end middle it and then you do it?
No, we're going to do this first, then in-middle.
Oh, then that shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah.
Do we have time?
You might.
That wasn't James.
I mean, might not. It's not super tough. Alright, so let's look at 7n squared minus 28. What do both of these have in common? Do they have a number that's in common? Yeah. 7, right? 7 goes into 7, 7 goes into 28. So we are going to factor out a 7. If you're not sure, maybe I can back up. If you're not sure, take each number and start dividing it by things, and stop when you don't get decimals. So for example, 7 divided by 7 is 1, 28 divided by 7 is 4, right? 7 went to both things. That's what I'm looking for. That's one way you can find these. Like I said, I don't want to go into a lot of detail on finding greatest common factor, as you guys have done before. So I'm going to be factoring out the 7, which is kind of like dividing. I'm also not entirely sure why this 7 is way over there.
Did you screwed up?
Space.
Oh, well,
So
we
it's
can't
kind of
do
like dividing, except we are splitting out the 7 to go out in front.
So it's 1 and that's 4.
So I took this 7 out there,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm going to go 7 in squared divided by 7.
Uh-huh.
7 over 7 is 1, right?
Yeah.
I got 1 in
Yeah.
squared.
Oh.
There are no other variables, so I'm just going to write it down.
Could you just leave it as n squared?
Yes, you could also just leave it as in squared. You don't need the 1. I just wrote it down just to show that I divided by 7.
Alright.
And then I'm going to go minus 28 divided by 7 is 4. Alright, and then from there, I need to double check and make sure my parenthesis is completely factored. Could I end middle this?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
We haven't seen this kind either, so we're going to look at this real quick. Alright, in the middle, I need 3 things, right? I need something x squared, or in this case n. I need something without the squared, and then I need just a number. Do I have the regular n in here?
Yes.
No. I have an n squared, I've got a plus 0 in, and then I have minus 4. So
What is
this
that
kind's
writing?
new in middle. What times what
And
is
squared
negative
and minus
4 and adds up to 0?
Negative 2 plus 2.
Negative 2 and 2. So this one, it's kind of sneaky. We can in middle this. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So watch out for these sneaky ones.
What do you mean sneaky?
Because it's sneaky, because it doesn't look like you can end middle factor it. So, my answer here now is I still have this 7. And I'm going to split my parenthesis up into 2 smaller ones. I'm going to go n minus 2 and n plus 2. This was a sneaky problem. You're not going to have very many like this, but you might have 1 or 2. So keep that in mind
On the test?
Really?
on the homework.
Okay.
Well, not in the test, I guess.
Why?
Really?
Just cause.
What is it? I'm not looking forward to something else. I forgot to take that as
Yeah.
Why'd you remind me? Shut up.
Wait till spring though. Not till spring. After spring break, we got less time, maybe.
You're not teaching us enough.
Maybe.
Teach us
But
more and
underneath that,
faster.
maybe. Trying. You guys keep holding me back.
Quit teaching us so fast.
Gotta wait.
No, we need to teach us more.
Extra learning. Probably.
Quick, derivative functions.
All
let's go.
right. So let's go through, and we're going to factor these.
Can we
So
just do
I'm
the
looking at
in-class?
part B up here. I can't end middle it right because I got a 9.
Bro, we're almost
So let's
done.
look. Can I take something out of 9 and 9 and 18?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
9.
Okay. So I'm going to
What
factor out
three?
of 9, and then I'm going to
Or
look at it. So I'm going to go 9, something long.
Hi, do you have any more calculators I can use?
We got lots of calculators on Desmos.
Just a graphing calculator.
Or just Desmos. Use Desmos.
Isn't it?
Desmos it.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, I can get your calculator.
Trigonometry doesn't work on Desmos.
Yeah, it does. Trig functions.
You gotta fix it. Not function. Talking about cause, yeah.
It's on there.
Hey, what's a real gun, Golgi?
It doesn't work. It's
I'll
in.
tell you after class.
It's not like a different. It's not. It's alright.
Alright, so we're going to factor out a 9 here. I'm going to factor out my 9. So I'm going to go 9,
7.
and 9x squared divided by 9 is just an x squared, right? Plus 9 over 9, 9x over 9 is just an x. Fix that plus sign. So plus x minus 18 over 9
X
is
underscore
2.
minus 2.
Alright, that's looking pretty good. Now, can I end middle this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what times what is negative 2? And adds up to 1, positive 1.
Negative 2 plus 1.
Alright,
No.
negative
Positive
2
one?
plus 1, yeah.
Negative 1, 2.
Oh, then 2 times negative 1.
So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. 2 plus negative 1 is positive 1. Alright, so I can factor my parentheses a second time. So I'm going to have a 9, and then parenthesis x plus 2,
Wait.
and then x minus 1. So we actually factored this twice. We factored out a 9, and then the end middle factored this parenthesis.
Wait, Goki. So you can only factor out a number with a variable with all the numbers of a variable?
What do you mean?
Okay, so like the first example you had where we
Yeah.
actually did it, you factored out 3n, so there's
Yeah.
3.
Yes.
So every number has to have a variable to factor out with a variable.
Yes, so every number has to be, you have to be able to take out everything from every number. So for example, I couldn't take out a 9x because 18 doesn't have an x. I can only take out like an x when every single thing has an x. So on part C here that we're going to do, 12 doesn't have an x. I can't factor out an x even though I have an x squared and an x there. So if I looked back at like my first one that I did, I took out an n also because I had an n squared and then I had an n. I could take out both of those, that's fine. But if I don't have an n everywhere or an x everywhere, I can't take it out.
Okay.
Alright, let's look at part C. You guys can help me out a little bit on this one. Let's start with Ramaya. What goes into 4 and 8, 12? 4. 4 goes into 4 and 8, 12. So we're going to factor that out. And we're going to split it up with like 4 out in front here. And we're going to have some parentheses. So we're going to go 4. And Alyssa, what do I get when I do 4x squared divided by 4?
What?
What do I get when I do 4x squared divided by 4? Okay. And then I'm going to go plus, 'cause I got this plus sign right here. Then I have 8x over 4. What is that, Austin?
What are we doing?
8x over 4.
Oh, 2. X.
2x, okay. And then our last one, James, what's 12 over 4?
3.
Easy one. All right, so we factored once. Let's see if we can factor, though. Devin, can you factor this a second time? Yep. I want to know what times what equals 3, and
Cousins.
what plus what equals 2.
Canadian.
I'm actually not sure we can factor this.
Calvetian.
Yeah, three's
What
kind of an
Canadian
equal number.
Yeah, all right, so what times what is 3?
3 times a 1.
Alright. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 2? No. So, can I could maybe try negative 3 times negative 1, right?
No,
Which is positive 3, but negative 3 plus negative 1 isn't 2.
Negative
So,
4.
even though it looks like we can end middle factor this one, we actually can't.
Oh.
So the numbers that you times to get like 3 have to be the same as you did.
Yes, have to be the same that we got.
So it's impossible
That
to middle
makes so
factor.
much more sense now.
Yeah.
What?
Negative 3. No, that was a different thing.
But it adds up to be
You're
positive
gonna
2.
make children's lives very miserable.
So, this is my final answer. Even though it kind of looks like we can end middle factor it, it's not quite. Alright, you guys ready to do an in class or you want
See
to
you,
practice
stick guy.
another one?
Let's just do the in class because I already did it.
Yeah, same.
Alright, so on the one in the box, factor it completely. So keep in mind, you might have to take out a number, and then you might have to end the middle factor.
See, I don't mind if math is like this, but if it's matrices, I'm done.
What if I gave you that calculator?
Yeah, but
You don't
still,
need to calculate a matrix again.
it's quite annoying to still put it in.
No,
You're not going to make us do matrices without a calculator on the
I
test,
should. I really should.
right? No.
No, I won't.
That was brutal. I didn't even do, nobody did it. Did anybody solve it?
I think Carissa was the closest. I don't remember. On the matrix on the test, did you solve that?
I tried.
Yeah, I think you did the most. Either you or Alyssa.
What?
I bet you the lizard
You
just
saying
worry
we're
about it.
great, Alyssa?
You saying
You
guys
were,
tried hard
Carissa,
on
were the ones that did the most on the
Yeah, you
matrix
tried hard
question
for
on the
half.
test.
Oh, yeah.
Nerds.
Gang, gang. Probably about that.
Oh my god.
What?
Gang, gang. I'm about to like.
8 and 15 is 4.
How are you now? Yes.
How'd you claim it?
5 and 3. 5 and 3.
Alright, what times what is negative 3? It adds up to negative 2. That is different because they're negatives, right?
Okay, I'm done with the first
So
two.
what times what is negative 3? Three plus the word 1.
I wish my dad
Can you turn on soccer with, please?
No, okay, so he's moving, you have an actual five because we're close.
So those.
No, he's moving, he doesn't lie. Living here anymore, he's gonna take it, it's in the hospital.
Like where?
Wait, okay. What? Well, I thought we just did.
These are positive, these are negatives.
Where's Joe?
Is it really?
So now we have to put this parentheses up into two small ones.
I used to work at Dollars, it was great.
Oh,
Okay, so.
I've already applied. That's what I'm doing. That's why I said, no.
Oh.
I put it last week because I went and applied for shit like that.
Where?
I guess that's not too
Is this
bad.
the correct homework?
No, I don't know, I need to check it.
I love salaries.
So maybe, you want to start? Alright,
Oh, Sally's?
so we're gonna start with.
Oh, I'm at the saddle.
Wait, Remind, how do you do the last part?
I haven't applied.
Like, what can you divide? Because- But let's pick the biggest number we want.
Well, I mean, I know that.
There's actually one even bigger.
Okay, you're JMC. It's 2007.
Oh, negative 3, oh, negative
12. We're gonna divide each one of these by 12.
No, when I
So
showed up
let's
to
factor up 12 and we do right here.
I didn't even know, so I dropped them.
Kind of like dividing, but really we're shoving that 12 out.
Like everything, giant ass cooler and all these big.
So,
He won't be with me until after I drop them. Right?
Oh,
So he's still working New York for cheese, but he's moving out.
Well, the thing is, it's not working anymore. It's
factor
gonna
up
go
12.
drop
So we're gonna pick 12
Oh
out.
boy!
Especially when he's trying to be a friend.
Around, sorry. One right here and one over there.
You want us to do the exit ticket?
Yeah, you can start it if you finish.
Yeah.
Alright, and then we still have x squared, right? X squared, not just the square, x squared. And then you still have an x there, and then minus x. Okay. Can you in the middle factor this?
My brother's looking.
Yeah. I wanna know what time go to -3 and that's up to -2. Over Kayla, this one will work for us.
like up there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll grab my real board and do it.
I know you should shorten
I
it.
thought you'd like to
So
start.
this is the answer, right? 12. Yeah.
I wanna know what time go to -3 and then -2.
Maybe 10?
Yeah, 10.
What time go to -3?
What's the answer?
For which one?
The last one.
The X ticket? 10x, x plus 3x is
Alright,
5.
let's,
X plus 3, X plus what?
5.
okay, -1 times 3.
I think it was
-1 plus 3.
Wait, it'd be 10x and then the parentheses you're thinking?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Is
positive.
it -2?
We did.
Oh, yeah, there's the x right there.
Close.
I mean, up until like today, I wasn't sure if it
So,
was ever gonna.
1 times
Instead of
-3
this
is
or whatever. I
1
don't
plus
know.
-3 is -2. So, we figured out how we're gonna do this part. Let's see what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go x.
It's so funny. Okay, so first we get exactly. Especially this one's all short. So I can see.
What's the first number we said?
This is all that's
Up and down the chart. Like, not a, yeah, it's bad, bro. The whole way up.
Right, you think
I would hate to ruin my
Another parenthesis.
He didn't, I didn't put it all the way there. When he came up, he fucking hit down.
So yes or
Like,
no?
he was second party, second or
Second number.
so bad.
I started with
The first week, he had to do his
Mm.
app.
Yeah. When we still don't talk like this, we always start with x.
I don't know.
Plus this.
Seriously.
Just not have
We've never heard that. Dude, you
Alright,
know that.
and then one last thing. We have to throw that in front of us, so we gotta keep it out. We can't just, it can't just disappear. That's a fine. We factor it twice. Factor up to 12.
Ryan's actually in that case.
Ooh,
Alright, Kayla did this one on the board for us, and it looks pretty good.
It looks right.
if you did this, remember, when it comes to splitting apart these parentheses right here, when it comes to splitting apart your parentheses, it doesn't matter what order. So you could have gone 12 and then x plus 1, x minus 3. And then, so either one is fine. Just pick one.
Okay, put
Oh, Teza.
no, put the
Study hall.
freaking form up. I mean, form up.
We can go back to you. Alright, so start on your exit ticket. I will turn on Socrative.
Put it on now.
Just a second.
Now.
No, it's on Socrative.
I actually think I did
I
it.
want to do it on the board though.
It's on Socrative.
Just let him do it on the board.
No, I don't want you to
cheat.
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 You're gonna look at him and cheat.
How we gonna cheat?
I don't know.